What's up, everyone? Happy Friday. Lovely day in the Bay Area. Today's topics, we'll be talking about backlinking, affiliate SEO, and black hat SEO with our guest today, Charles Floate. Today's sponsor, hrefs.com/AWT. Oh yeah. What's up, Stefan? My man. Happy birthday. Hope it was a good one. Today's topics, we'll be talking about backlinking, affiliate SEO, and black hat SEO with our guest today, Charles Floate. Today's sponsor, hrefs.com/AWT. What's up, Tim from Cincinnati? Sorry for those Bengals, Tim. Oh, I see our guest in the green room. What's up, Charles? How you doing today? Can you hear me? Charles, can you hear me? Let's see. Charles, I could hear you, but can you hear me? All right, we have Adrian. What's up, my man? Charles, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Charles, let me see. Hey guys, can you guys hear me? Adrian, Tim, Stefan, can you guys hear me? Just want to make sure. Let's see. Happy Friday, y'all. Today we'll be talking about backlinks, affiliate SEO, and black hat SEO with our guest today, Charles Floate. Today's sponsor, hrefs.com/AWT. Okay, I see Adrian can hear me. Charles, I can't. Can you hear me? I could see you in the back.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep. All right. Love it. All right, so Charles, I'm going to go over a few videos in the beginning, and I will introduce you in about 8-10 minutes in. All right. Charles is up at around 3 a.m. right now. Thank you so much for being a guest on the SEO video show. All right, guys. So I'm going to be doing an unboxing real quick. So Hrefs actually sent this box. So they sent this little box here. And what I'm going to do is, anytime, I want you guys to count how many times I put out this little Easter egg. If you see this pop up, count how many times I do it throughout the show, and I'll have Hrefs send you one of these boxes. Let's check what's in here. All right. Nico, what's up, my man? Stefan, what's up? What's up, Andrew? Hello, Hannah. All right, guys. So starting now, whenever you see this little logo, count it throughout the episode. So here's 1. All right, looks like you get a t-shirt. It says t-shirt. Looks like you get a mug too. And you get a book. And some stickers. All right, guys. This is a little care package from hrefs.com. Be sure to count how many times you see this little Easter egg logo. That's 2. I see a bunch of you out there. Don't be shy. Say hi. Today's topics, we'll be talking about backlinks, affiliate SEO, and black hat SEO with our guest today, Charles Floate. Today's sponsor, hrefs.com/AWT. Again, guys, don't forget to count the Easter eggs. These little Easter egg logo pop-ups. And I'll have Hrefs send you a care package. We got about 3 more minutes to go. Let me know where you're from. I see Charles drinking his coffee at 3 a.m.
I'm pretty sure it's tea.
All right. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Happy Friday, y'all. I see y'all coming in. Love it. Victor, what's up, my man? Adrian's asking, where are you, Charles? Where are you right now? Chiang Mai, Mexico, or any other exotic place?
I'm in Chiang Mai right now.
Oh yeah, Chiang Mai.
The SEO capital.
Oh, you gotta tell me more about that. I know a lot of people moving out there. I know there's a conference that's out there. I know Kyle Roof moved out there. Let's talk about that later. I'm curious.
Sure.
All right, we got about 1 more minute to go. Today's topics, we'll be talking about backlinks, affiliate SEO, and some black hat SEO tactics. Today's sponsor, hrefs.com/AWT.
Yeah, hey, time to get it started, no delay, let's work. Wanna see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre De Vera, steady dropping knowledge, over 15 years in the game, so he knows all about it. Master the art of SEO, you will be amazed. Time to get your brand off page to on page. Dropping knowledge, legendary for sure. Whether you're just getting started, a self-employed entrepreneur. Yeah, let's go. Subscribe to the SEO video show.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the SEO video show where SEO is alive and fun. My name is Paul Andre De Vera, aka Dre, and I curate SEO videos released in the past week into about 1-minute clips. My favorite part of the show is when I get to introduce my guest, and my guest this week is SEO consultant and entrepreneur Charles Floate. Before we get started, let's say what's up to everyone in chat. I see Adrian, Victor, Charles, Tim, Stefan, Nico, and so much more. Thank you so much. Don't forget to put I love SEO in the live chat and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get on with the show.
This is Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. Where is the best place to hide a dead body? Page 2 of Google.
All right, guys, Google just released a Search Off the Record podcast featuring the story of Alita Solis. You can check that out or check out episode 43 of the SEO video show where she exposes her SEO secrets. Ted Kubaitus shares his top SEO priority with an interview with Chris Palmer. Let's check this one out.
What I like to do is I like to tell people to prioritize schema. And the way that I prioritize schema is I tell people that they should first consider anything that affects the presentation of your website in search. So I'm talking product schema, your aggregate rating stars, just any of those parts of schema that will affect how you present.
Yep, so anything that shows up. Enhancement.
And the reason you want to prioritize those is because they're no-brainers. Getting those aggregate stars to show up just gets you click-through rate. It's like the best CRO thing you can do for online retail. They're easy to justify to the business. You can say, look, you can see the difference.
All right. Everything Ted mentioned is everything I use, especially the same as and mention schema. All right. Schema can increase CTR, but and you can do that with title tags too. Ross Hudgens shares how to write SEO title tags that rank. Let's check it out.
Are the overall 5 elements that can drive click-through rate for your business in different ways. So this Venn diagram that we're showing on our screen shows the 5 different ways these can all coalesce, and some of them can be combined, some cannot, but effectively the 5 elements are price, speed, volume, value, and then brand overlapping those 4. And each of these elements have a specific application that we'll talk through in the next step. So time to value is a great first one that effectively is stating if you can help someone get to value as fast as possible and indicate that in your title tag, they're going to be more likely to click you. So the following 6 examples are a great application of the speed to solution concept. You can see in these various different ways, people are finding their solution faster, whether it's tying their tie in only 30 seconds, becoming that RN in 24 months, falling asleep in only 10 seconds or 60 seconds, etc., or otherwise giving someone a video so they can make those delicious hot chocolate bombs. These all connect to getting you to your specific need in a faster fashion.
Be sure to watch the whole video for more examples from this Venn diagram. I love using questions, the year, and numbers in my title tags to get more CTR. Okay, Chris Palmer shares his local SEO link building tips for 2022. Let's check this one out.
The first thing we'll be discovering and going over is link building, or building links to each page. Why that's important for your local site. 2, treat all pages like your home page. Number 3, increase internal links to important pages. We'll discuss how you can do this and why to do this. 4, building your silos too deep. Stop it. Number 5, spending resources on design instead of links and content. I'll explain why that's important. And 6, tiered link building, it's seriously lacking in local markets.
Be sure to watch the full video as Chris goes over each tactic in detail. And remember, his local SEO tips can be applied to non-local campaigns. All right, Lauren Baker summarized how affiliate marketing and SEO can work together by Adam Reimer. Let's check this one out.
I've never thought of the ability to list out all of the obstacles and challenges that you're having internally on the SEO side to get those integrated, and then bringing in affiliate to say, oh, what can you do with your publishing contacts that are so nimble, they can make this happen almost immediately while we're trying to play catch up. That way we're getting funnels in, we're getting sales in, we're getting traffic in from this hybrid affiliate SEO relationship. And then down the road, that even would give me more data to be able to push internally, especially on the enterprise side. Hey, listen, through these affiliate platforms, they're getting X via SEO. We're still waiting for you to be able to add the ability to put schema on the page, right? Let's get this done. So I really like that. I've never thought of it, the relationship working like that before. So that's really eye-opening.
I love the idea of working with affiliates to fill in your SEO gaps. Like in the world of enterprise software, I love the idea of like incorporating a G2 Crowd or Trust Radius or one of those software advice type sites into your SEO strategy. Without being biased, it could be hard to say you are the best software or the top software in your on your company's website. Okay, someone very familiar with affiliate marketing is my guest today. But before I introduce my guest, here's a word from our sponsor. Are you sick of your competitors outranking you in the search results? Your solution is Ahrefs Webmaster Tools, and it's free $99. This isn't one of your 14-day free trial offers. Instead, it's a super powerful tool that'll do a full website audit for you and keep working for you for free. It'll scan your site and prioritize precisely what you need to fix and improve for your search results. Visit ahrefs.com webmaster-tools for this free tool. Find the link below, and by checking our sponsors, you support this show. Now let's introduce our guest.
Charles first garnered attention from his controversial The SEO blog. The God of SEO blog, he published posts and guides that came from his experience of successfully ranking sites in organic search. He created multiple sizable black hat SEO case studies that shook the industry and showed how much young talent can do. He focused on growing his affiliate sites and working under the SEO AI agency. He has since published close to 500 blog posts across the SEO industry and provided help to tons of thousands of freelancers and businesses across the globe. Please welcome the God of SEO, Charles Floate.
Charles, my man, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you, especially after that intro.
Love it, love it. Welcome to the show. All right. I want to get right into it. This is the first question I always ask all my SEO professionals. In about 1 minute or less, how does Charles get ranking on page one?
Generally, it depends, right? Which is the SEO question, or the SEO answer, sorry, that every SEO gives. It depends on the SERP, it depends on the competitiveness, but generally it comes down to links, content, authority, on page, and some technical stuff mixed in, right? But that's about it, really. There's nothing, there's nothing secret sauce or anything to get on the number one to get the number one on Google. It's just all about building to get to there in the first place.
Love it. First knowledge bomb of the day. All right. Let's rewind this real quick. All right, Charles, you got to take us way back into time. When did you first start learning about SEO?
Yeah, so I first started learning about SEO in 2007 or 2008 or something like that. I didn't really start getting into it until a few years after that. But I was literally, just turned 12 or 13 when I first started finding out about SEO. Yeah, and that's when I started first, building random niche websites. And I met a couple of people that I'm still friends with even today. And one of my mentors as well, I met at that quite young age as well. And it's just, I just kind of blossomed from being involved in the digital world, getting into YouTube, getting into streaming, getting into all that kind of stuff, and finding out about SEO initially from that, and not really jumping into it then. But then basically my mom had a website, and she had kind of a very small business with a few employees and stuff, and she just spent about £15,000 or something, which was at the time it was like $25,000 or so, on a website. And the SEO company, the website company that she had bought the website from wanted to charge her £6,000 a month for SEO, right? And this is in 2007, right? 2007, 2008, which is that's just insane, right? For SEO back in those days. So my mom basically came to me and said, hey, look, can you take a look at this? I know that you're fairly good with the computers. I'll give you a few £100 to kind of go out there and see what you can rank. And then I did it. So I ranked an e-commerce business, and we started getting in, daily orders and stuff for e-commerce stuff. Started being able to expand, grow, and now we're up to something like close to 300 employees in the UK. Since we started all the way back in 2007 when we started with 3. So it's been pretty crazy growth over the last few years. And that's basically how I got started into SEO. It's just from my mom telling me to kind of help her with the website, and then I just fell in love with it from there on out, basically.
Love that family business. But you said you started at 12 and 13. Man, this is like what you were in high school, right? I mean, what were like at that time? Like, what were you like? How were you learning it then? Like, were you like? And you said you had a mentor. Like, who were your mentors back then?
Yeah, so my first mentor originally was a guy called Todd Foster, and now he runs Casio.ca or something, which is one of Canada's biggest agencies. I think I think he merged with another agency in Canada. They have something like 500 clients now in Canada or something, which is absolutely gigantic. And I met him when he was still in the UK. So he's actually a British guy, and he's only 4 or 5 years older than I am, but he was building AdSense sites, and also he was selling links on like random gaming forums and things like that. And I started buying links off him through this forum, and he messaged me and it was like, hey, you've spent way more money than anybody else on links. Who are you? What is this kind of thing? And we jumped on a video call, and both of us are still, speaking with really high pitched, squeaky voices and stuff. And it was crazy, just like talking about SEO and stuff. And he really taught me a ton of stuff about SEO. Gave me access to like loads of software and tools and everything that I would have never been able to have just starting out, and gave me a real path to build kind of my own sites and help him build new sites and stuff. And that was my kind of first mentor, was Todd.
All right, love it. So take us on that journey now. So you learned SEO, and I think I probably heard of you maybe back around 2008, 2010, between 2010. I think I found you on Black Hat World. I think you were pretty active. You were pretty active on there before, right?
I wasn't really active on Black Hat World. It was more like Black Hat Underground.
Oh yeah.
And like and like a few of those kind of websites.
Yeah, I don't think those ones are around anymore. But at the same time, I remember. I think I started when I first got into SEO, I pretty much was doing like Black Hat stuff, and I didn't even know it. I mean, it's just pretty much how you just get stuff ranked. And I know I came across your blog. So let's talk about the God of SEO. Let's talk about that blog, because I know I was following it. It was in my RSS feeds. It was something I read. Like, with those case studies that you're putting out, like, tell us about that, like how the God of SEO blog was developed.
Yeah, so it was actually a bit of a joke, to be honest, at first, that developed out of something which is a bit insane, really. But I used to originally, when I first started out, as everybody does, I was a big fan of the Whiteboard Fridays that Brand Fishkin was putting out. So I used to kind of comment on the Moz blog. I'd read all the case studies, I'd read all the Whiteboard Friday and stuff that were coming out, and I'd listen to them. And eventually he started changing his opinion over a couple of years, from like he was actively doing case studies around like selling links and like doing all this proper real world SEO case study stuff that actually benefits the SEO community, to being a very Google favored kind of community, to the point where Mozblog at one point wouldn't allow you to post on a blog if you were doing a post that broke Google's guidelines, which is crazy, right, for an SEO blog, right? Because there's so many tactics that just inherently break Google's guidelines. So I started to really fall out of favor with Moz, and I started to fall out of favor with a lot of the SEO community because of how Google favored it started to become. And I ended up getting into a bit of a beef on Twitter with Rand one day. And he tweeted me before blocking me, actually, and said, "You really think you're the God of SEO, don't you?" And I was like, "I am using that one." So I utilized brand's own words and kind of registered godofseo.co or .com or something at the time, and just started building blog posts about what I thought was legitimate SEO stuff, real world SEO stuff, rather than kind of the Google washed content that was coming out of the industry at the time, and still is on a lot of sites and stuff, right?
All right. Okay. So let's go into like some of the stuff that you're doing. You have courses too, right? So tell us about like how you transitioned from, you're doing affiliate marketing, right? And then you became an agency, and then next became an educator and started doing more courses. Like tell us about like how you're making money now with SEO.
Yeah. So because I started so young, I think I had more ambition than most, right? And also I was just networking like crazy. So I was going to every conference I could go to. I was in every marketplace and every forum and every Skype group and everything at the time. And I even started making my own ones, right? So I just started really building out my network. And I started having lots of offers from people, let's do JB on this affiliate site. Let's build an agency. Let's do all this stuff, right? So I started just building different businesses along the way. Mainly, obviously, still focusing on both kind of the affiliate sites and the blogging. But then the e-commerce SEO agency started getting really big, and I partnered with a guy called Dan Coverage on it, and we signed some really big clients that were on, £5,000 to £15,000 a month, which is awesome for someone who's, I was like 19 at the time, So I just started basically developing all these different businesses and seeing what went where, and some failed, as they do, some projects just burned out, and I just lacked focus on other ones and things. But some were really successful. So I ended up selling my e-commerce SEO agency and when I was like 20, and then I ended up selling my link building agency when I was 22. So I ended up exiting from 2 agencies in both 6-figure exits before I was 25, right? So it kind of set me up to allow me to change from being kind of this affiliate SEO person more towards being a consultant, and more towards being kind of like an investor mode, which I've been doing recently, which is kind of investing in projects, buying and flipping sites, doing all that kind of stuff on top of it, and then doing the whole digital investments on top as well. So buying some stocks in crypto and NFTs and stuff, even though let's not definitely talk about that.
Wow, so you sold 2 agencies, and now you're in Chiang Mai, right? I mean, we were talking about this earlier, because I'm curious, like, how long you've been there, and why Chiang Mai? Like, why is everyone there? Why is it supposedly the SEO capital of the world? I'm curious, like, why are y'all there?
Yeah, sure. So I've been here for 4 years now, which feels crazy, right? But it's mainly due to the pandemic. I just kind of got stuck here for most of it. And I originally came because Matt Diggity organised kind of this private mastermind where he invited just SEOs from all over the world, America, Australia, the UK, Europe, all over the place. And there's between 50 and 100 of us originally that kind of came to this mastermind event, and we all split into groups that were all talking about the same things and stuff. And that single event like leveled up my business more than any event I'd ever been to previously, right? I think I literally 3 or 5x'd the month after, like my revenue the month after I'd been there. It was absolutely insane, because all the amount of SEO information that you get online is kind of regurgitated, rehashed kind of stuff. There are some individual courses and stuff where there's going to be golden nuggets and all that kind of stuff, right? But the majority of it is just going to be the same old stuff that's going to be talked about. However, when you go to these events where you have literally the best SEOs in the world that Matt has hand selected to come and talk to you all the time, you just pick up all these little bits and tips across the entire day and across the entire week that I ended up being there. And Matt invited me to come for 3 days. I ended up staying for 6 weeks. So I just kept on cancelling my flight and stuff, and just loved it so much. But at the time I was living in Mexico, so I didn't really want to leave there. I had like an ex-girlfriend in Mexico and stuff that I was dating and stuff still, so I didn't really want to leave her and stuff. But then eventually that kind of broke up, and I just decided, screw it, let's go from being like the party Mexico lifestyle to just being a lot more chilled out Thailand, focus on the business, all that kind of lifestyle. And of course, it's the kind of capsule of SEO that you have now, right, where there's literally hundreds of SEOs that live here. And we've got like weekly meetups where you have Carl Reeve, Diggity, myself, these huge SEO names that are doing presentations on case studies and sites and techniques and stuff that you'd have to go and pay $1,000 a ticket to go to a conference and see. But it's happening on a weekly basis with 40 or 50 other SEOs in attendance that you can also speak to. And the most value that I see out of Chiang Mai is when an algorithm update happens, right? Because when an algorithm update happens and we have the weekly meetups, everybody is just chatting and exchanging knowledge and seeing whose site went up, whose site went down, why did it go up, why did it go down, and that is when we can respond almost immediately to algorithm updates, closer to or better than anybody else in the entire world, right? Because of the data that we're sharing between us. So that's why I think it's probably, in my opinion anyway, that's why I think that Chiang Mai is kind of the best place on earth for SEO right now.
Love it. Thank you for giving a little history on that, because I didn't know much background on that. Okay, we had a question here from Adrian real quick. He goes, will there be another Chiang Mai conference in 2022? Do you know that? Any word?
I'm probably saying no for this year. If I would have probably known, Matt would have probably told me by now if there was going to happen this year. But next year, I'm almost 90% certain that will happen next year. So.
All right. So you're talking about nuggets, and I call them knowledge bombs. So I want you to take us back to now, like how I heard of you was through your black hat tactics, right? I'm curious right now, like, are you still doing any black hat stuff right now? And like, or maybe what are some maybe things that you can share that we can do right now and stay under the radar and not even get penalized?
Yeah. So in terms of kind of the black hat stuff, people are really surprised, right? When I do consultations with them, they're like, oh, how can I do all these little tricks and stuff to get around? And actually, I kind of, from the outset, right, from the outside, it looks extremely clean, extremely white hat, everything is all that kind of stuff. But under the surface, that's when I'm doing the tiered link building, kind of manipulating some on-page stuff, doing like trust signal manipulation, kind of just messing with as many signals as possible, right, that you can manipulate to get Google to favor your website. But specifically, I think the only real black hat stuff that I mostly do is like tiered link building and just the initial kind of trust signal manipulation for a new website. So most people, when they get a new website, if you have a domain that is literally fresh, so you just registered it in the last week or last few days or something, most people can't get that even indexed, right? I can build, or I can spend maybe $250 and get that site ranking for niches and stuff tomorrow, right? So it's within the first 3 pages and stuff, within a day of doing stuff. So it's all about just manipulating the trust signals within Google to basically validate the authenticity of a website, because Google can't realistically, it's a technological algorithm, right? It can't validate real life. It can't validate the authenticity of a brand or a business or anything. So if you can manipulate all of the signals that Google has created that they look for to see if a business is real or not, see if a website is real or not, see if it's not spammed, it's not hacked, it's all that kind of stuff, then you can simply bypass any sandbox that you can kind of think of that Google can throw at you. And it immediately kind of allows you to rank for basically any niche, including the whole YMYL niches, which people always complain about as well.
All right, so I want to go a little bit deeper on this, because how do you do trust signal manipulation? Like, what are these signals that you're curious? Like, what do you manipulate to show these trust signals?
Yeah, so there's the off-page trust signal stuff. So things like no-follow links from like Wikipedia or the BBC or big, huge sites, but they're still no-follow. Those would probably be a trust signal until they're kind of activated. So Google made no-follow links a hint directive. I think it was in 2019. And the hint directive basically means that sometimes it's going to pass juice, sometimes it's not. But from our research, that for it to pass juice, it has to kind of be activated. So it has to have internal links from other pages on the website. It has to have backlinks, it has to have social signals, it has to have all of these stuff to trigger that no-follow link to turn into basically a do-follow signal, right? So we kind of stack links on our no-follow links from really big websites to build it up, as well as get a GMB, even if it's not kind of a real address, right? We just use virtual addresses in central London and things like that. Most of my websites from the UK. And then we also kind of do all sorts of extra things on top of it as well to validate the authenticity of the address. So you do citations, you do like a press release on Yahoo News, MarketWatch, all the massive websites as well. You do all these kinds of things just to validate the authenticity of the external signals. And then from the on-page signals as well, you both become a topical authority before you even get the site live, right? So generally when I'm building a site, we have everything in drafts or everything in a, hosting subdomain, something site. I can't remember what the domain is right now. Anyway, a staging site, right? So we have everything generally on a staging site prior to going live. So when we actually go live on a website, we have 100 pages straight away that Google can crawl, and they're all interlinked and they're all topically creating content and stuff like that, as well as the other on-page trust signals as well. So you link to your social profiles, you do a massive about page where you're linking to all that kind of stuff as well. You have a GMB maybe in the footer where your GMB embed is and all that kind of stuff. You have an EV SSL certificate where you're linking your physical business address or a physical business entity to your website, right? So there's all of these additional factors which you can kind of tell Google that your website is real, it's a real business, it's got a real company behind it, that it will allow you to rank a lot quicker.
Love it. Okay, so I remember, like, I think one of the first black hat like techniques that I was followed, like kind of learned from you was something called Parasite SEO. Is that something that you're still doing today? Like, is that something you think that still works?
Yeah, 100%. So I less so I do Parasite SEO for affiliate. I don't really do that anymore. Sometimes I'll do it to try and control more of a SERP. So let's say I'm already ranking number one on a page. Instead of creating more websites and trying to rank and spending all this money, I'll just parasite loads of pages to the top as well. And then I'll also interlink those pages back to my review so that the competing pages in the SERP are then also linking to my number one review, so that it becomes even more powerful as well. But I generally try and parasite these reviews up so that they take the number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 spots. And they have my affiliate links in there as well, so that it's already taking up extra real estate in the SERP, so that if they do click not on the number 1 spot, if they do click on number 2 or number 3 or number 4, it's still going to come back to my bank account, right? So that's the kind of aim of doing Parasite SEO, as well as the fact that you can do it with online reputation management, right? So if you want to have if a client has got like really bad press in the media, or someone's gone bankrupt or something like that, and it's come out in the press and stuff like that. In America, I think they have like bankruptcy filings and stuff which get indexed in Google and stuff, which can really affect someone's job prospects or all sorts of things like that, or future business investment prospects and things like that. So you can use Parasite SEO to put social profiles and press releases and news articles that are favouring to you or that you control above all that stuff, just by parasiting them to the top of this SERP, so that generally you control the first SERP. So the aim of Parasite SEO more for me is that you get control of a SERP, right? So it's not necessarily that you're ranking number 1 for a keyword of Parasite SEO, it's that you're ranking number 3, number 5, number 7, number 8 for all of those different pages, and that you're controlling more and more of the SERP real estate over time.
All right, thank you for that. So, I mean, for those that like don't know what like a Parasite SEO is, can you explain like what kind of properties are you using? Are you like registering like multiple domains? Are you using like other free properties or stuff like that?
Yeah, so I a lot of the time I'll use like press releases. So you can get a press release on like Yahoo Finance or Benzinga or something like that. You can also build like Web 2.0s. The problem with Web 2.0s is that they are on a subdomain, right? And generally, you need the root domain to kind of pass that authority, because you need the root domain to kind of keep all the links, because subdomains get treated as different domains to root domains. So if you create a new subdomain, you don't get all of the root authority that a parasite would need to rank. So in general, I try and get any properties that you can build on the root domain. So any Web 2.0s or any parasites or any press releases or any social profiles, like about pages, or anything like that, that is a high DR, high DA, high authority domain, and that you can build a lot of cheap links at, you can build a lot of content on, you can quickly optimize the page very easily. But in general, Parasite SEO is just utilizing a very high authority root domain, building a page on it, because it allows you to build a page on it. It's something like Blogspot or something, you can build a site, even though that's a domain. And then building out content for your keywords, exactly how you do with a normal ranking page, and then just spamming links at it. Normally, you're talking cheap PBNs, cheap niche edits, or then you're just spamming stuff with automated link building using like SEO Autopilot or some tool like that.
Got it. Love it. And yeah, like, the press releases, that just reminded me about like something that happened recently, because I announced that I had a sponsor, HRS over here, with a press release. And now I see 2 press releases showing up for SEO video show on Google. So like it took up like 2 of my spots. So yeah, so I see that working. All right, so I want to go into more of your affiliate business, right? Because you started doing like a lot of affiliates. I mean, even like I think the God of SEO was a lot of like also affiliate like programs that you're doing reviews and stuff like that. I mean, so what are you doing any more affiliates now? What's working now? What's making the most money in affiliate SEO?
Yeah, so generally in affiliate, I've concentrated more on foreign and international SEO. So I've generally tried to rank in the Nordics and things like that, or countries that have really high GDPs, right? So really, the countries that have really high GDPs, but have a different language that they're searching Google in, and they're predominantly using Google. So countries, as an example, maybe not a country, but Dubai, countries like Kuwait, Qatar, Singapore, Switzerland, Norway, all of those kind of countries where they have a really high GDP, but they're searching in a different language. And that different language is a completely different algorithm than English SEO. And it's literally like sometimes it's 15 years ago. I'm not even kidding, and a lot of the SEO that I'm doing there, I don't even get as an example, I wouldn't get like a Swedish link or a Norwegian link. I just build English niche edits, add it with a foreign anchor text, and it still works. Like it's just crazy how behind the times a lot of these international algorithms are.
Damn! Man, that was a big knowledge bomb right there. I didn't even think about that. Just go after, other countries. Cause I guess the market even like of the competition of SEO is not even that high, right? Awesome tip there. Crazy, yeah. Love it. Okay, so I want to get into your courses now. Like something like you became like you're an SEO educator and you have a bunch of courses. I went to one of your sites here, or the Gumroad. You have a bunch of courses here. So of your courses, like can you like let people know like what are you teaching there? Is it everything? Is it all your secrets?
Yeah. So basically, I've sold courses previously. But I've never really gone all out, right? And then when the pandemic started happening, a lot of my sites are in the travel niche and in the financial niches and stuff like that. So I got really hit by the pandemic. I had some of my websites, I'm not joking, went from earning $13,000 a month, $20,000 a month to $3 a month. Like it was awful. Just because the pandemic just stopped travel, it stopped a lot of people from applying for any kind of financial relief or anything like that kind of stuff. A lot of people at the time were just hoarding cash and they weren't wanting to spend anything. So a lot of my sites just got nuked, and that kind of allowed me to reanalyze as well. And I was spending a lot of time inside because obviously we were all locked down or pandemic, whatever. We didn't really have lockdowns in Thailand, but I wanted to. But we still had like curfews and all this kind of stupid stuff as well. So I tried to. I kind of tried to look around what was the new thing or what was like the new markets and stuff, and it was all online education, right? All these online education platforms were going through the roof. So like Masterclass went up like 700% in a month or something, right? Because of the pandemic starting. So I was like, okay, there's kind of a gap in the market for SEO courses, because most SEO courses are $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, right? For a good one, unless you're dealing with like Udemy, but there's nothing of value on YouTube, sorry. So you have to kind of spend this high value, high ticket sales kind of price to be able to get any real information course. I think even Ryan Stewart's course is now $25,000 for his course, which is just mental, right? So I saw a gap in the market where there was kind of a lack of quality, low-cost information in the SEO market, and there's all these people that would probably want to learn a new skill online that could potentially earn them a living. And I was also getting more and more involved in Twitter, and there's kind of this underground community on Twitter called Money Twitter. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's got probably 2-3 million people currently involved in kind of this Money Twitter-esque thing, where basically it's just any online hustle, any physical hustle, which you can do online that will add an extra income to your kind of life, and that's just what Money Twitter is. So all it is just big accounts giving you information on that stuff. So I kind of became one of the biggest SEO guys within the Money Twitter space, and utilise that to sell courses on Twitter more than kind of any other platform. So I've never. So as an SEO, I thought, why would I as an SEO run ads, right? Because I'm an SEO. I should be able to organically get all of my traffic, all of my sales. So I've never ran an ad on my courses. And I think I'm coming up to doing like $2 million or something over the last 4 or 5 years, which is absolutely mental. So.
Man, a lot of money talking here. All right, so we have a question here from Ernesto. Any course discount codes for SEO video show audience?
It depends what course you want, but if you DM me on Twitter, which my DM's open, you just need a Twitter account to message me. I'll send you a discount for whatever course you want, because you're a loyal SEO video show audience member.
Love it, guys. So DM Charles, and Charles, what's your Twitter account for everyone?
It's at Charles_SEO.
All right. So I want to, if you guys, be sure to ask your questions in the live chats before I come down to my last few questions here. So I want to go into, okay, with your courses, I'm curious, which is your most popular one? Which of yours, of the courses that you put out there is your popular one, and probably your favorite one that gives out like a lot of stuff?
There's basically 2, right? Because I have my beginner one, which has sold the most in terms of volume and sales and stuff, which is SEO Side Hustle.
Okay.
But I'm currently working on SEO Side Hustle 2.0, which is going to be a video course rather than an ebook, because originally the SEO Side Hustle 1.0 was an ebook that I wrote. It's like 160 something pages long about how you can learn SEO. And then the second course is SEO Gems, which is, in my opinion, and a lot of people, basically every customer that has bought it, it's the most advanced SEO course in the world. So I give away tricks and secrets, like kind of information that I've said on here, black hat tips and secrets that nobody has shared publicly anywhere on the internet. So I'm the first person to reveal this information. And I've also done a lot of update videos where I'm talking about the tools that you should be utilizing, how to save money and how to get the most ROI out of your campaigns, and how to do all of these advanced strategy pieces as well. So those are the 2 most biggest courses. The Side Hustle one has sold 3,000 copies or something now, which is crazy. And then SEO Gems, I think, he sold like 200 or 250 copies or so. So yeah.
Love it. And I see here the it's SEO Gems Advanced Money Hat SEO, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Love it. I love pulling up this money hat. Okay, so with that one, I see that one's like $999. So we need a discount code for that one.
Yeah, so originally when I first launched it, it was $399. But then I expanded it, so I did update videos for it for like every month last year, and just kept on increasing the price because the value inside just kept on getting better and better and better. And I wanted to kind of give the original people who bought it kind of more value than people who are coming in after the fact, right? So, and even though it's $999 now, it's probably got 10x the amount of value in there, because some people that I've spoken to, some of the agency owners and stuff, from the link building tips and things I've said have saved their agency tens of thousands of dollars a month in link building costs, because I've given them little tips and tricks that will save them a huge amount of fees and costs and stuff, right? So, yeah.
Excellent!
All right, so the last topic that we wanted to talk about is link building. And you said you give some link building tips. I'm curious, can you share some of those link building tips that you've maybe not in there, but maybe something that that people are not doing right now that are great ways to get links?
Yeah, so I kind of think I said it earlier. The number one thing is just tiered link building.
Tiered.
Most people just don't do it, or they don't utilize it enough at all. So if you have, number one, if you have really high authority no-follow links, and they're really good and they have a decent anchor and all that kind of stuff, and they're linking to a good page, maybe even the home page, if you want to activate it, throw $150 of niche edits at it. If you throw 5 free niche edits at it, something like that, and 90% of the time that link will activate, right? And you'll see the page it's linking to, or potentially even the entire domain, fly through the roof. The other part about it is if you have really highly relevant links, but they're on lower authority sites, if you can stick a really high authority tier 2 link at it, but it's maybe not as relevant as the tier 1 link, then it will power up the tier 1 link even more so, even from a lower authority domain. So that's mostly what I do with tiered link building, is I just try and build layers of quality. So I don't really like build spam or automated links or anything like that. I just build tier 2 PBNs or tier 2 niche edits or tier 2 guest posts and things like that. The other tip I kind of had was most people, when they're doing guest posts, right, they just build a guest post and then it's a fresh guest post and that's it, right? Some of them do tiered link building, that's great and all, but a lot of the time what I like to do is when I'm negotiating the sale of the guest post, I'll also negotiate a sale of an internal link to that guest post. So as it's a fresh guest post, right, it doesn't really have an authority, it doesn't have any stuff like that. And because it's a guest post, most sites, if not every site that you're buying your guest post on, will not internal link from any other page on the site, right? So I negotiate the highest authority pages on the site. It doesn't even need to be necessarily relevant, right? Because they're just linking internally to another page. They just need to be authoritative. So I'll find pages on the site that have 50, 100 referring domains, and then I'll ask them how much would it be for you to internally link. I don't care about the anchor text, I don't care about anything, from that really high authority page back to my guest post. And it might be an extra $10, an extra $20, right? But it makes that guest post way more, infinitely more powerful, right? It's crazy. So those are probably the main kind of tips that I would have right now.
Oh, I love that one. I've never heard of that one before, because I know people, when you get a guest post, they set and forget and that's it. But you take it one step further, getting that equity from that actual. Oh man, if you guys didn't listen to that one, rewind real quick and listen to that one tip. Love it. We have here Kalim. Wow, awesome tip for link building. All right, guys, I'm going to ask my last question here, but guys, be sure to ask your question, fit it in before I let them go. But I always ask this question to all the SEO professionals that come here on the show. Is like, if someone wants to get into SEO game, get in the SEO industry, what are your tips to become an SEO professional?
So if you want to become an SEO professional, I have an ebook. It's called Learn SEO the Right Way. It's totally free. You just Google Gumroad Learn SEO, and I'll be the first one, because I do Gumroad SEO as well. So I try and rank the Gumroad the course pages and stuff in Google, and I also rank in Gumroad's own search engine. So a lot of the time, if you're wanting to do SEO and Google seems way too complicated, you don't have to do Google. You don't have to SEO for Google. You could do SEO for Amazon. You could do it for eBay. You could do it for the App Store. You could do it for the Play Store. You could do it for Etsy. Right? There's all these other search engines that allow you to do really easy SEO that are way less complicated and stuff. But there's still millionaires that have been made out of doing SEO on those platforms. So if Google is a bit too technical, it's a bit too hard, focus on those other platforms. If you want to jump in with Google, pick up my ebook. It's totally free. Gumroad Learn SEO. That's all you need to Google.
Love it. Thank you very much. I didn't see anything else come in, but so thank you so much for being my guest here today. You've been awesome. Again, so you also have you have your own show coming out, or you actually started a new show. It's like what, 3-4 episodes in. Can you tell how can people find it? How can other people find you again?
Yeah, if you're on YouTube right now, you can just search my name, Charles Floate, and it'll come up on YouTube. I have my own channel. I do kind of post SEO content on there. Maybe once every 3 months I'll do a video on an update or on link building or something, but I don't really post much content on YouTube. The main thing I do is I post interviews. So I'll interview other millionaire SEOs or other millionaire digital marketers or digital investors. And I'll get information out of them, and I'll try and really grow them to see how much they can give up about their kind of backstory and stuff. So you can just search on YouTube. If you're already on YouTube, you can search my name there.
Love it. All right, Charles. Thank you again so much. If you can hold on for one quick second while I sign off real quick. All right, guys. That concludes another episode of the SEO Video Show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And hey, don't forget to visit our sponsor, hrefs.com/AWT. Till next time, I'll see you next week. Peace out.
Thank you for watching. Hope you come back next week. Make sure to subscribe. You don't want to miss a thing. Hope you learn something new, because the vibe is incredible. From the special SEO professionals, SEO video show. Let's work. Want to see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre DeVera helping you step it up. No delay right now. Time to level up. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Woo!